Hey, good job, Mark.
Nice, there you go.
Good job.
Good,
You're
Mark.
learning all this stuff.
Good job.
You did good, though.
You wonder why it
All speed,
kicks off
luck, and
like
no
this.
skill.
All right, so sheet 8, that is the tax collector, that's Nikki.
Sorry about that disruption out there.
Is there anybody on, can we tell?
I have no
How'd
idea.
how'd that happen?
Oh, look, you zoomed in.
Wow,
Very
is
nice.
that automatic?
I did it.
Uh,
Technology. All right.
Okay.
all right, tax collection, this is Nikki, so we budgeted $2,050 for her this year. 2025, she put in for $2,500. Contractual expenses, she left exactly the same at 5,700. So. Tell you,
Well, I'm trying to do the math here.
Well, what's up?
that's a
2,500 bucks.
22% increase. That line.
It's a what, 22? Yeah.
On which
I figured
one?
it's about 20%, yeah.
For her, for that salary there. for the-
Personal services right here,
Oh,
goes from 205 over to 2,500.
Oh, I see.
450 bucks, right?
Is that that's annually?
Correct. What's this?
Very good.
I don't think that's fair.
Seems like a big ask. is
Well,
there?
that's 23, this is 24.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, do you have any idea what, did we put 25% more work on her? Or the person that is in that position?
I don't. Think so.
Okay, then,
2,100 bucks.
yeah, I mean, we can provide a addition. I mean, is this an addition to, or is this part of her overall salary?
That's part of her overall
Yeah,
compensation.
hers is broke down into pieces. It's what, tax collector, town clerk,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
it's different pieces, so.
5% would bring it up to 2,150, so that's $100 over the course of a year.
Are you giving her an increase?
Well, we did not give her one last year.
Did she earn an increase?
No, actually, no. I don't, I think at least the way we do it at our company is everyone is do a performance review. And I understand this is a private practice, but everyone has a performance review. You're evaluated and then your increase is commensurate with what you did. And how you did.
Remember, we're on a public site, okay? So let's be careful when we talk about employee issues.
So I'm talking about my personal experience.
Don't we have to
And-
do, like an executive?
Yeah,
session to
we do.
discuss this up?
We do.
So should we just leave this as?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Let's just
Yes.
ignore this.
Good idea. Good idea.
Contractual,
Good point.
so all salaries and stuff we'll do at a later date, maybe at the next workshop.
Okay,
Okay.
That's.
5:30,
5:30,
okay,
okay.
yeah, 5:30.
So that's that. Assessors, page 9, you put in for 34.3, we'll leave that in there for now. But at a later date, contractual is exactly the same as last year, 30.
Yeah, he's not asking for any increase.
Where's, which one?
Page 9.
Page 9.
Page 9, sorry.
Page 9.
No.
We're not asking for it.
He's not asking for an increase.
Right. And
Who's? What's your estimate, Brian? Oh, okay, I'm with you. All right, I didn't know where to look. All right, now I see.
Yeah.
these numbers
Okay.
that are at the top of the page, when I send you guys my budget file, they all kind of correspond, so you can see, I labeled the budget with the line, so it all. But
Mhm.
anyway, clerk is next page, 10A, she put in
Right, I see it.
$43,050.
We're doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that separately,
Yeah.
deputy, 7,000, for. Contractual expenses went down a touch from 4,706 to 4,670.
Oh, she took away other expenses, whatever,
$36, I don't know what
whatever
it
that
is,
is.
so we're just down a little bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see where that's from.
No equipment. I didn't ask these people what the state of their computer equipment or anything furniture is, but they're not paying for it, then so be it. And she also left a note, that I think I attached in there, which you guys can read at your leisure and we'll talk about that. 10B is, our attorney. So this one up. He put in just for the day-to-day town legal work, he put in 63,000 versus $40,000 this year, which is our original budget. 10,000 for the I think is that planning board or is that just
So it's non-contract.
he says labor, that was a kind of a carryover from when Tom Chartrand did it. I don't know what that line is. Is that planning board or is
Non-contract
that?
estimate, does anybody know what that is? I wonder if that's the extra stuff, like when we call them to do something that's not regular business.
It could be.
I bet you that's what it is.
He mentioned to me that the planning board, that legal work was like off the charts high this
Yep.
year. So that
Well,
might,
hopefully we don't have that again.
right.
Sweet.
So he's
This is-
asking for less total?
I was asking for.
No.
I know, I see the
Well,
increase.
so-
The Article 6.
Yeah, so that
Article
sheet you have
78,
there,
not so much.
yeah, that sheet in there is the modified budget for this year, so.
And
It's the
is
planning board, Article 7.
Okay, I see.
attorney town board in,
Going from 40 to 63.
right? And
Holy cow.
the contract,
Is that 10,000 or 10,600?
10,000.
He's asking for seven, so he's asking for a $30,000 increase.
And I don't know if you want to put this in the budget or not, but you put in 25 grand for Article 78 if the appeal proceeds. So. There's two ways to look at that, right? We either put it in the budget and it impacts property taxes, or we don't put it in the budget. And it either comes out of contingency or it comes out of fund balance.
Well, all this interest. Is that made up for things like this in the past?
Well, yes and no, like we budgeted quite a bit for interest income this year. I think we underestimated the interest, but yeah, somewhat.
But it's not gonna make a 25K difference.
I'd like to
And that
know.
we don't know until,
I
I
don't,
mean-
I don't know what it's.
The interest is. That's
So
gonna be.
there's a
tough one, that's-
$30,000 increase.
It's a $30,000 increase. That's like huge.
So what's going on there is you're moving from Tim, who is basically self-employed, to, a much larger firm and it has overhead costs and all that.
Right.
So
Isn't
that's,
Tim with Harris?
he was
He
for the
was
last.
at the
for a
end.
very short period of time.
At the end.
Yeah.
and that went up significantly, even towards the end of Tim, didn't it? I mean, doesn't show over here.
I think we put in, yeah, well, he was,
You work with other towns?
do I?
Yeah. What towns, anything of similar size and
Lafayette's the
We
closest, but I literally just started working.
We went from 36
2 weeks
eight
ago.
to 58 last year.
That's what I
In
thought.
23, it was 36, and then 24, it jumped up to 58.
that may have been going from Tim's. firm to-
Yep, and now.
Harris Beach.
What
Yeah.
about, what's the other woman that represented? Prior, who's the?
Jamie
Yeah.
Sussen.
Yeah.
She did the planning board, I think.
You know what that was?
Lafayette doesn't
Second.
have outside they have basically an employee. The guy is I think he's the corporate counsel for Aqua. And they have him on salary with this. Town of Onondaga, they have a large law firm that represents them, and as they should, they have a lot going on.
You don't know that, can you even say that, because it's public.
Yeah, I just don't remember which one it is.
No,
Executive committee,
Yeah.
this one?
and how does it say 40?
No.
Why does it say 40? Oh, that's,
40 is what was budgeted. So on your sheet there, you'll see a much higher number because it was much modification.
oh, okay.
Okay. Well, it says recommended 40, adopted 55.
That's what I was confused about.
Well, didn't, I don't know if this was last year, but did we combine the planning board fees with the town board fees because it's the same firm?
I think so.
Was there a separate line item?
Yeah, I don't know.
And the burrito would be a subcategory.
Yeah, what is contractual? Yes.
Contractual is him showing up and doing what he's gotta do here. The extra stuff is when we call him and ask him to do research on other projects.
You know why?
That's extra.
This is what happened, I remember now. So he put in for 40,000. And
Yep,
then when we were working the budget last year, it's the same time that all the Heritage Hill stuff started to,
So we-
pop up. So we bumped that 40 up to 55 in anticipation of higher legal fees.
so that's not reflected on here.
What you see there,
Yep,
that larger number, that is our adopted budget for this year. That.
I'm sorry,
What's the number there?
10D. I'm just
All
looking.
right, so you're correct. I made a mistake when I put this together. I didn't put in, I put in 40, it should have been 55 for
Okay,
contractual.
that's right.
Right.
So it was 55.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I take that back. You know what I did is I put everything, I moved, so the $40,000 is a typical everyday legal expense. The $67,000 is Article 78. So I put that extra 15 grand into that line.
And then the
Okay.
three, so that's how we got the 70,000, was the 67 and 3,000 for non-contract estimate last year, I bet.
So, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, is he asking to go from 40 to 63, or is he asking to go from 55 to 63? That's what I'm trying to clarify.
He's going from 40 to 63. And then anything Article 78 related, if there is an appeal, it's gonna be 25 grand, then non,
Mhm.
everyday legal is another $10,000.
I think we need to think about that one. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big hit.
Seems like that should be a list of.
I'll see if we can get benchmarks with other towns.
Yeah, let me see what I can find with my other municipalities, and I can let you know. The ones I work with are all across the spectrum too. There's some small, some
Right.
large, some villages, some
Yeah.
towns, so. And also give some thought to Article 78, whether or not you want to budget for that or not, or we just deal with it when it arises. It seems like a contingency at this point, so.
You know how long? It's longer than you.
I don't know for sure, but the research I did is if they go to appeal, then the judge possibly will give them 2 months, which would be November, December. And then if they appeal, they can get another appeal extension, which would be the final one, which would take it to January. So you're looking at January, February.
So from the original, ruling, they have until when to appeal?
I think it's the end of October. And then if they can extend their appeal right, typically the judge will give them 2 months, from what I understand.
Shelve this part of the budget until, you know that?
We don't have to make a decision now. We have to, by the early October, I don't remember the exact date, we have to
Adopt.
not adopt, but we
Yeah.
have to put forth the
Early when?
tentative budget, early
Right.
October,
The October.
right? But then, then we move forward from there, so.
So we're really gonna make some decisions at our next meeting so that we can.
So is there any way to modify anything after?
Yeah, I think once you adopt the preliminary, and I could be wrong on this, the only thing that's really set in stone is the elected salaries. Does that sound right?
Maybe we adopt low. And just the highest. Appeal.
That's my thought. That's. Yeah, that's what, it's kind of a
Well, I
contingency.
I don't know, and that's fine. We can definitely think about that. I don't know. I would rather have the money budgeted so we have an idea of what it might cost. At least we have a little something, maybe we go half. So we're not totally scrambling.
How much scrambling that? Sorry.
I mean, it's
They've
got,
estimated 25,000, it looks like.
I'm not sure where our fund balance is gonna be yet for this year. At the end of the year, I haven't done that projection yet, but I can tell you, assuming we broke even, right? If our revenue equals our expenses, we ended 23 with fund balance of 328 grand for the general fund in savings. Not a huge number, but it would be able to
Certainly
absorb.
enough of a cushion to handle this.
Right. And then there's also probably 650-ish in the highway fund. So, money can always be transferred from there as well.
You can do that relatively easily. Okay.
I think
If we
the
have,
other would be-
if we have the bill, then we don't have to put it in the budget.
Yeah, I would, I'm just, I don't think we should, I mean, it obviously could happen, but I tend to want to be optimistic, think it's not. Cross that one, yeah.
Nothing for
Shall we move on?
engineering. Yep.
I have nothing from engineering. I don't know who that is, honestly. I've never talked to the guy.
Where, is this John?
Oh, that's John Dunkel.
So I don't know if somebody has a contact or wants to reach out to him. For now, I put in what we had last for
This is
20.
where?
It's not in
I
there.
think last year's is
Yeah.
probably.
We know where you got from?
Wait, what did we bring everybody up to speed? Would you?
So for engineering, we had 20 grand budget for 23, 20 grand budget for 24. Tentatively, I put in 20,000 for 2025. I haven't heard anything from him. I don't know.
That's what we budget, what was actual?
I'll touch base.
Actual year to date is $8,200.
Yeah.
That might not be indicative of where we actually are though, because those invoices tend to be a little bit larger. That's infrequent, it might be a few months before he sends an invoice, so. I'm not exactly sure where we're at for the year on that one.
Well, if somebody has a contact, you could kind of ask what his workload is right now. And if there's anything coming.
Fortunate to say a lot less.
If I remember right, is that the stuff where they,
Like when we were doing the solar, he
Yeah,
was
so
down
it's
there.
not maybe.
Yeah, I was doing some of the site, going down to the site.
And I know when we,
Put the detention ponds up on Frank Road, you had to go through all that.
Mhm.
all right.
okay. Did we blow by the Veronica thing?
No,
Not yet.
that's next. So Veronica,
Veronica, an increase?
slight increase looks like. 50. Like that.
Is that public info was
Yeah,
six.
$450 increase. I think I forgot to bring, yeah, I did. I thought I attached what she had for last year, but. See if I can find it easily. I think I have it.
Oh, do you have Veronica's email?
Yeah.
Can you share, can you send it to me? I got an email her
It's right here.
last night. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's right on top of the sheet, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, she's been coming in a lot and dealing with a lot.
Yeah, I locked myself out last night. Email thing.
Is that Veronica or is
I don't
that, no, that's Bender.
Is it?
Bender does the email.
Okay.
All right, I got hers from last year, I can tell you.
6650 budgeted for last year.
This is actually less. Some of this stuff is spread out over different accounts, but
Right,
going down the line, for her fee, she was at 5950 for 2023 on her request. 650 for Zoom video. Wix was $250, then email accounts was $1345. So her total budget last year that she put in for was $81.95.
so this
This
is.
looks good.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and she
Yep.
put right on here, there's one fee that doesn't come
Yeah.
in 2026, so.
Looks good.
Good.
Yep. Next is, I don't have the building put together yet. This is kind of a lot of work, these couple accounts here. Building equipment. We've always budgeted $2,000. That's,
Last year we took it out.
yeah, we took it out last year, but then we modified the budget to include the stuff like the audio system, the front door,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's anything that's on the horizon this year. I put in $2,000 because that's what we had for 23. I can take it out. Up to you guys.
Why do we have it on the, oh, I see, the equipment line is with
I think we can take it out.
garage roof. So John was talking about a new roof. It looks like we have, maybe that's the back roof he was talking about. We did.
This is, I think you're thinking of we're up a line. I'm in yeah, that's highway. I'm in the building,
Right
the
here.
general building, which I don't have a sheet for that for you guys.
Oh, I didn't see garage on this worksheet.
So 0 for that, and I don't think there's nothing that popped up.
Yeah, I mean, I know we got John's take on this. We might get a different take from BR and the highway.
Well, yeah, no,
I mean, whether we need to.
I agree. See you guys. Thanks for coming.
We didn't necessarily think,
All
I
right.
necessarily take his word. Yeah, it's great change.
No, I think,
Even tends to like the look like things to.
I think he was just throwing stuff out
Yeah.
there. It wasn't like,
I think, yeah, I definitely want to talk to Bjorn.
I mean,
Bill-
like that, mentioned some leak. Barely anything. Caulk or something.
well, and I think what he was just saying is if the roof was replaced, that would just come out and it wouldn't even be an issue anymore. I think
Yeah.
that's the way I read the email. So,
I think it's probably something. we can search for a grant or something in the next year or two to get it done.
Good.
Building contractual is a line that's, it's kind of a catch-all, honestly, for lack of a better term, but I think anything building related goes into it, even our postage goes into it, National Grid, cleaning, general repairs and maintenance. I don't really,
Where are we? Can I?
you don't have anything on this, yeah.
okay.
I gotta spend some.
So we're done with
What's
this.
the amount?
Building contractual, it's account 16.4. So we budgeted 38,350 this for 2024. This is a project, I gotta take this one on. I wanna take that number and I want to create some new accounts, so we have a little bit more insight as to like what's in there, right? So we'll have a postage account, we'll have one for utilities, telephone, whatever else. Right now, we're at 21,746. I know for a fact that there's some stuff in there that needs to get moved out, that doesn't belong in there. I think, some of the stuff for the, Hamlet signs is in there.
That was all ARPA.
Right, so that needs to get cleaned up a bit. Like I said, it's kind of a project and I need to work on it. So I'm thinking right now, $40,000 just to get a number in there. And we'll
Come back
refine
to
that
that.
as we.
And we're at 20, not, did you say 20?
Yeah, I would love to look at what we're actually
Yeah, it's gonna, we're
putting
so,
that towards and spending it on. There's a
Yeah.
few things that we probably could find a cheaper alternative or don't even need.
right. So that number, I think year to date, we're probably closer to 18,000, not 21,746, like I said.
So
So,
you'll work on that.
Yeah.
Have it for the next meeting.
So that could be a nice pickup.
Depends.
yeah, I think the numbers that are in there are good. It's just a matter of finding a better spot for them, and reporting it better.
And as far as postage goes, we eliminated a lot of the separate postage in places last year and did one.
Yeah, and I should
postage thing.
have done something different last year when we did that. There's, I think, a better spot for it. It should just be under communication or printing. I've seen other municipalities, they throw another line in there for, printing, and they hit postage, and that's just the catch-all for all the postage for the town. So we'll work on that. All right, so the next one is the garage. Worked on this with BR not this past week before. But we're gonna table salaries for now. We're gonna talk about that later.
Right.
In terms of improvements down there, he wants to get new heaters. hydronic heaters, whatever that means, for 30 grand. This year we budgeted,
Maybe prioritize that with the ARPA.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's one of those big heaters they put up in the space.
he has, in the highway budget, he has the ARPA pretty much covered with, a tractor and long arm mower
Yeah, he talked about that at
and
the board meeting.
And, well, the mower
Well,
alone was, what do you say,
200.
between
Well, the
180 and 210?
We've got 230.
Well, the question was, cause he was also talking about that, cause what, cause he moved it or whatever
Yeah.
thing, and now, do we not do
Hi,
that?
Veronica. What happened? I think we're still on though, because I see us in the corner.
She just checking on us or something.
I don't know. All right.
I mean, do we do something like that with it instead of that? I mean, is that what you're
What-
suggesting, or?
What are you saying?
Well, there's a unused amount between the mower,
Right,
tractor, and
right.
what we have to spend, and this is close to it now.
Oh,
did
30
he,
grand?
did he
Let's
give
just-
us a quote
let's
for
get it out
the,
of the budget and put it in ARPA and be done.
I
For the
think,
what?
for the mower and the, did he get a quote for that?
Well, he had a few different ones, and they range somewhere. in the
180 to
180.
210.
Yeah,
180 to 210 is what
Okay.
he said.
So,
I remember,
if we
because I was
go
making
190
notes.
Yeah.
If we go 190 and that 230, we
all right, so I'm gonna go over to highway quick and
And his went down anyway because the roof was listed for 208.
Right,
so quickly in highway, when I talked with him, we have 238, whatever the number of article was, 238, 525. You want me to bring that down to 190? For that mower?
No, he was saying if yeah,
So
so, hold on, yeah, so the 238 is the
That-
balance?
That's the uncommitted
That's
piece of,
unallocated.
unallocated,
Right,
yeah,
the
so,
mower is how much? Wasn't Mark saying? the
180 to
mower's 190?
210, depending on which one you
Yeah.
wanna go.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
There was still some left there, and that, was, I mean, he had one throw out of that, was he living in?
So we need a firm
So we
quote
need-
from BR.
We
is
need
really
a
what we
firm,
need.
well, yeah, and which one he wants to go with. And then this 30,000 for the heaters could easily go into ARPA and we get a
We're done.
quote for that
We're
and
done.
yeah,
That's a
we're done.
difference of 48,000. 238 minus the 190 is 48,000. If he can come in at 190 instead of 210.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like that idea. Take that. I mean, we can leave them with, I would leave them some amount of money for additional unforeseen if we can.
so what about this? In the highway fund, throw in 200 grand for ARPA and put 200 grand for his mower.
That's fine.
And then,
Massey Ferguson for one.
hell was my-
Yeah. So 200 grand.
Just like anything else.
And then in the general fund for these heaters, I'm gonna put 30 grand, like you said, but I'm gonna put 30,000 or whatever, 38,000 in ARPA to use up the balance, 38,
I think that would be
525.
a simple way to
Yeah,
get it done, and
Sounds good.
if it's so much of a priority, we wanna put it on that budget, why don't I just ARPA it?
Yep.
yeah, that eats up and saves some budget room
Yeah.
and leave. Well, we can, it's sitting there and it doesn't.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, moving on. Actuals the same. Police,
Well, when you said the contractual is the same, what do you mean? Isn't, that's gonna change, right?
or
For the garage? Is that gonna change?
that won't change, no.
No,
The equipment, we're leaving the same, it's just that I'm putting $30,000 of revenue from ARPA
Got
to
it.
offset that.
got it, okay.
Actually, I put this figure down.
Oh, wait, hold on one second. We talking about police?
Yeah,
Okay, we gotta back up because I skipped some stuff. You don't have sheets for this stuff. Central communications contractual hourly, and then there's a contract. This is like IT support.
Mhm.
I don't have any information on this. I put in 3 grand and 5,000. This year we did 3,000 and 4,600. The reason I bumped that 4,600 up to $5,000, it's because the payments that we've been paying the guy have been trending a little bit higher. We're at $395 a month, so I figured we should probably have a little bit of a cushion there.
Okay.
I don't know if we feel the need to reach out to him and get a feel for what he wants to do for 25, or if we're just good leaving it as is.
And this is who is this vendor?
IT, yeah.
I need to call him anyways about my,
So you're proposing
Yeah.
2,005.
that's fine.
So 8,000 total versus 7,600.
You know his number? Does anybody know his
Yeah.
number? I need to call him about yeah, thanks. And I'll call him and ask him to get it, send Mark a quote.
For now, that's. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Printing contractual, that's another one that's just kind of.
Does that work for you?
It's not your newsletter, we don't do newsletter.
Yeah, we knocked that down to 0 last year.
So that is contractual, I think that would just be copier stuff and paper and things like that, so I just left it as is.
Yeah.
There's a few bigger ones that you don't have sheets for. General insurance, according to Tom Anthus, I think it was Tom, right?
Yeah.
He said plan on a 10% increase, so we are at $45,000 this year for the budget. We came in just underneath that at 44,505. So 10% would bring us up to 49,500. So
So probably, yeah, he's, when he said on the high end,
so hopefully we're under that.
we'll probably be able to. Something changes, be less the following year.
Municipal association dues, we're at 1,100. I bumped it up $100 to 1,200. I don't know if, what's going on with that, but leave it as is, completely up to you guys, doesn't really make a difference.
$100 is gonna make a difference either way.
Workshops, we budgeted $4,000 this year because of the new board members and supervisor. 23, we budgeted 2, so I brought it back down to 2, assuming we're not gonna have any turnover.
Makes sense.
And then contingency, this is we don't ever have contingent expenses, you never do. That's just a number in there that we can use to, offset other increases. When I have to do budget modification, we draw from that. So it's been $25,000. I put it in for $25,000. It's I don't want to say
This year,
what's that?
how much should? is that the
This
same as last
year,
Well, we used it for the
I did pull out of it.
legal, didn't we?
No,
Something else.
no. I don't know if I've actually used it yet this year. I have to go back and look. Because I don't have my spreadsheet here. I have the 24 budget as adopted. I don't have the amendments reflected in there, so it might be a touch lower. But 25, I think, is fair. It's basically saying that, we're gonna put a $25,000 cushion, we're gonna fund it with property taxes. Alternatively, you can take it out, and if you have to, if you're going over budget, you're gonna pull it out of your fund balance. So,
We'll keep it at 25.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right, now we're on to police.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
That's a huge deal.
actually put it back down, put it to 13,
13.
yeah.
They
They can't find anybody to provide extra service. We're gonna be lucky to spend 12 this year or 11. It's time I calculated, so.
Yeah, we're at 7,000 through August. So,
Wow,
Really?
that's sad.
It's really sad.
so yeah, light it up. I mean, drive
I
fast.
was gonna say, I would slow down at the 40 going through the Poppy Mall area.
Yeah.
And make sure I'm
That's the
going,
one place.
that's the
still
one
do
place
that.
they sit.
Well, last Tuesday, there's almost an exit right here when I pulled
Really?
in. Yeah, I heard screeching tires and somebody was coming up the hill. Some guy was flying down the hill and somebody was coming through the intersection. How they all missed each other, I don't know.
I've seen them sitting
Yeah.
here and up in Pompey are the places I've seen.
Right at the town hall.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
over there in the parking lot. I have seen. them
All
sitting
right,
there.
so
Next is street signs. That's from BR. He said something about some kind of sign that needs to be replaced. I don't know what he was talking about, but
Wait, that's not traffic control?
traffic control signs, yeah, that's like street signs.
Oh, was that the thing you were talking about down by you?
It's the speed
Oh,
bumps.
it's, no, he's talking about getting some of those, you're going too fast.
Just repositioning that.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's not related to this. This is, I think he said bridge signs. He said, yeah, I think they're They're like yellow and black. with
The antique
chevrons.
ones?
No, they go on the, like,
Overweight? No.
they
No,
they
clear,
go, yeah, I don't know, but he said he needed $2,000 for
All right,
this, $2,000 for this for 2024. I just.
Looked like that we had $2,000 last year.
Yeah,
Have you used it?
he's got $81 in there so far this year, but he said he's got expenses coming.
okay,
Animal control, you don't have a sheet for, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
who
checked.
this
It
is.
came at the end of September last year.
What is it, like an additional group? No, I don't even,
It's
SPCA,
SPCA.
Oh.
Yeah.
that's a cost?
Yeah, you have to pay that, if someone's needs the animal control.
we don't have a dog warden, so
Oh,
they handle all of our. Animals.
How much?
According to what the contract that we signed last year was 2,000 for the cruelty fee and 4,750 for the contractual, the dog control fee, service that they provide. That's what I put in for the budget tentatively, knowing. that this was-
2024 dog services 4750, animal cruelty 2,000.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's what we have.
Previous
for-
year was 4,000 and 1,300.
do we use it all?
Probably
Oh,
gonna be
you-
like,
So we increased it last year.
Then that's nothing that we have control over.
Right.
They
Right.
just say
That's
this is
just-
your gonna be.
We just
The
need to
number he
know.
gave you is pretty much the same as last year.
I don't have a number for this year for
67,
25.
we don't have a number yet this year.
So I
At
just,
least I haven't received anything.
yeah, neither have I. So I just have whatever it was for 24. I have that plugged in for 25, knowing that we'll have to change that.
Check to see if Nikki got.
Board of Assessment Review, we have. I don't have a sheet for you guys on that. Nothing was provided to me. I don't see what.
It's been 750.
Yeah, so I have 750 in there. I don't know what you guys want to do with that. If I leave it, but
What comes out of that?
We pay them. Is that how it works? It's grievance day type stuff.
I think so, yeah.
Keep it or?
Leave it the same, I mean, it's been the same for a while, and if we're not going over it, then
That's a
maybe.
thankless position, just to have to sit there and listen to people correct. about
Which
it.
one?
The Board of Assessment.
Oh, my God,
That's
that's horrible.
you could increase that by 1,000 times.
Good day, my job, listen to parents.
There might be a new job.
All right, so that's that. Next up would be Highway Supervisor. Put in for requests.
And as you said before, he's
Probably under.
probably underpaid, so we should get it, so.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about all
We'll
this.
talk about that. So that's good.
Yeah, I see, I'm on board, I understand what you're saying.
Last year, he put in $500, this year, I should say, put in $500 for new chairs for him and Teresa. He said he's got nothing to do this year, so no equipment. Contractually said we.
Wait, did she say it, are we talking, I thought she was on a new computer.
He told me nothing,
Oh,
so.
again, what's it, garage? Maybe I'm,
I have page 17.
Yeah, we're on page 17.
yeah. I found somewhere they were on the computer.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I think it was, maybe it was Tim.
Yeah, Tim, yeah, sorry, assessor, you're right. The assessor one,
So that's highway. There is a line that you don't have a sheet for. It's just lighting contractual. So like the lights out in the parking lot, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It's been $9,200 for years. I think that's probably a good number for this year. So that's what.
the light in the parking lot costs us $9,200 a year.
I think there's other streetlights involved as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah, there's 2 special districts for streetlights. But there's other general town streetlights out there.
That would actually be a great project for Jenna. Look at, is this an LED light, the lights we have in the?
We changed
parking
them
lot?
all over just a couple of years ago, didn't we, to,
I don't know,
Renee, I mean, we did
Be more efficient.
yeah,
Yeah.
we changed a whole bunch of them over.
LEDs.
Shortly after I was on board, there was a big changeover. I mean, I assume they got done. I mean,
I
that
think
was,
so. I don't know. I've never looked at the
And a
lights.
lot of that was through a grant that, I mean, we got a thing for it was one of them energy audit things and we did a.
Right.
Testing once sustaining.
Next up is swim program. We have
I
the same
think we-
at 250.
I think now that we got the bill the other day, we should bring it down to, it was 4,000 this past year. In case they have an increase.
Say 4,500.
Sure.
I mean, if it goes over, it's.
We'll have the money for it. It's not gonna, you know.
Well, what was the maximum allowed? That could do the program,
Based on, is the five,
where they max it out at 50?
That was the maximum.
that's the maximum amount.
Yeah, so if we go over by 700.
You know, we don't wanna limit make that number any lower, so, but odds are we won't fully fill the program.
Yeah, but it was a function, filling the program was a function of the capacity of the pool, right?
No, it's,
No, this is what I swear.
Tully now.
it's
The
all,
Tully.
More of a function of who can logistically get out Tully, so
Gotcha.
we had, there was a question, we had 36 participants this past summer.
Yeah, and
Two
two
of
of them
them
only
did
went
two
once.
sessions. So 40 times 100, 4,000.
Gotcha.
One signed up and never went, two signed up and only went once.
What's
We still had to
what
pay.
were the numbers like when we did it at KS?
we used to spend 20-something thousand.
But like how many participants would we have?
Oh, we had.
I can tell you, our kids all went through it. It's the greatest
Yeah,
program.
that one there had, and that's why,
That's a bummer then.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that had.
this was, that was a
100
huge hit
kids.
to the town when we lost the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, I don't have sheets back from the historical. The historian.
Yeah, was it, is Ruth?
Yeah, I would just say put the same in.
Yeah,
It's, I think it's more of a formality than.
I think we gave her a $20 raise last year, and they wanted to give her $20 more.
okay.
We make a contribution to the society, I think, of $83.50, and it's been $83.50 forever, I believe. I don't have any information on that. I checked my files. I don't have any correspondence from last year's budget where that number comes from, but. You guys have any idea?
No. No clue.
have they spent any? That's,
Say again, I'm sorry. what-
We just write a check
We
to
just
the
write a check to
Historical
them?
Association. I think that's who it is. It's $83.50.
wonder if that's what they use for like the socials and stuff like that. like-
Yeah, for like like when they do the monthly meetings and they have food for everybody and stuff.
Did they put in request things for more, or did that not?
I don't even get a request. I send requests out to,
September 18th.
what's her last name? Lawson? What's
Darla.
Darla? Radio silence, so.
Darla's been in the hospital, so I don't know
Oh,
how
that'll-
she used to respond.
they'll do
That's
it.
probably tough.
So I just left it as is.
Yeah, okay.
The next line, you don't have a sheet for this either, celebrations, this is Earth Day for the most part, we got $1,000 in there.
What did we spend last year?
We're at 471, but I think there's some things that are in highway that need to get moved over there, so it's probably gonna be pretty damn close to $1,000.
Leave it.
There's usually a Christmas and the Earth Day are the two.
Right.
Things that we used
Yeah.
to do.
So it might be a good idea to bump that up a little bit.
1,200 maybe. I think I came here for Earth Day. It was really well
I
done.
mean, that's.
Really well done.
I did the last one.
Just the electronics thing is awesome.
Oh my God.
Every year I have stuff. that-
Electronics and
Yeah.
tires are the two
Yes,
biggest,
it's huge.
two biggest movers.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on then to,
What is that? Is that April?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like end of April.
Oh, yeah.
Zoning, I'm sorry, codes, Tim,
This is salary stuff, right?
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
His other expenses
Yeah.
have not gone up.
Yeah, actually,
Computer, not received a quote from Dan Bender, so it looks like he's looking to replace a computer.
Yeah, I think
It seems about,
1,500 is probably. reasonable.
that's reasonable. I mean, yeah,
Probably.
listen, anything we can do to increase his efficiency and help him out and make sure that we're getting as many things as we can would be good.
He's using a
No.
computer from 2011.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can't even keep, software won't even update on it. 2011.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's other additional tools that he needs that we don't, I mean, in addition to the salary stuff, which we'll talk about later, like other tools, I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I know you guys talk to him more than I do. I'd like to talk to him and see what else he needs for his job.
The only other thing that's in here, I don't have a sheet for, but it's included with his line on the budget. Zoning Board of Appeals. Never heard anything back from them. We budgeted 1460.24. I think there's a few different people that are included in there that get paid. Let's see if I've got that sheet from last year.
Yeah, and it jumped up from 960 to 1460, so we had jumped it up.
We did the same
500.
thing with like all those
Right.
committees. We raised
And
them
then
all.
they spread it out amongst each of them.
What's the cost associated with that? Who we paying?
There's a committee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they get a stipend for when they do it.
Oh, yeah, like you pay him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just like us,
right.
yeah.
not to change, but going back to the Historical Society, it's Ann Shelley is who filled it out last year and she put in 8350. That was her request. She didn't
Yeah,
increase or anything, so
great.
she didn't send it back, so no increase. So.
I know you're going through, I don't think 1,500 for computer monitor, printer, mouse is enough.
You don't think so?
No,
Is it two?
yeah, put it to $2,000.
yeah, it's pretty cheap. Yeah.
I wonder where he needs a printer.
Oh, yeah, with print, so.
Move the printer.
Yeah, print off the printer
Move
over
the
there.
printer, I'll ask him about it. I got.
Yeah, I don't like the.
It's a network printer, so you can print from a computer directly. It's a network
Should
printer.
be.
Good,
I moved,
yeah.
I moved out of that.
Yeah,
First I moved out of
Yeah.
his current office, cause he needed a bigger one, then I moved out of that one.
Right,
Okay,
Because
zoning.
nobody wanted to walk over here.
services.
Or listen to it during meetings.
right.
Clerk.
then it was,
So the what I was talking
And then we
about
moved, yeah.
before was the zoning board of appeals. Last year, we brought everybody up to, we brought the members up to $200 each, I believe.
Mhm.
Then the chair, I believe, might have gone up another $50 there. That makes sense. So I didn't get anything back from him. That's David Tessier, I think. So do you want to leave it as is?
Let's say that's for something else.
All right, so I brought the computer up for Tim up to $2,000. Salary we'll talk about another day, then everything else stays the same. Zoning, his contractual line went down $800. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Planning board. That's page 23 there. Susan put in for a slight increase there, so. The chair went up to $250 to $750, and then each member would go from $200 to $300.
To answer your question is why it went down, it's because he took the deputy out.
Right.
That's why it went down.
No, that's not as contractual.
Oh,
That's great, but
all right. Okay, planning.
yep, so planning, so. She's got, yeah, so total personnel, the chair would be $750, then $300 for each member at, 6 members. I don't know if we talk about this now or if we talk about that. I don't know if that falls under the personnel branch of our conversation, or if you want to talk about it now and get it over with. We did 1,700 last year for 24.
and that went up last year, didn't it?
Yeah, $500.
They were how much more this year?
Another 550.
I think that,
About 50.
I think the percentage, just from a fairness standpoint, I think whatever you give, I mean, the judges are
Yeah.
probably outside of that. But whatever we get or they get should be similar, I think.
I think what we should do is, kind of determine like a town-wide rate
Right.
And then you can apply that to everybody, when we talk about the salaries.
That's a good
in the next
idea.
Session. Environmental, tower inspection. I have no idea what this is. We didn't budget anything for it this year. We budgeted $1,000 for it. You don't have a sheet for this, by the way.
Our inspection.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cell towers.
No, I think it's the towers down.
Radio.
Water towers, maybe?
No, the towers, but,
Up on
Cell
Sevier,
towers?
Sevier, yeah, I'm saying.
Sevier Road.
The radio.
Somebody's gotta continue to monitor, because they keep placing more candelabras in the existing towers, and we don't adjust the assessments. So it's,
So we got $1,000 in there for that. I don't know if that's.
Who does that?
Until
Anybody know?
did anybody do it last year?
Yeah,
we didn't have anything budgeted for it this year.
Environmental chair is asking 500 for signs. I don't know what the signs are. And then,
That's,
Yeah, but we're not
That's-
there,
we're
we're
not
not
there
there
yet.
yet.
we're still, we're missing a sheet.
We're on an item that.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
have
sure.
a sheet for the tower inspection. So I threw $1,000 in there, not knowing, what it is.
yeah.
Um,
That's actually something I think we could be getting ripped off on.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
we
trying to
went
get
from-
Brian to continue to make sure they're being properly assessed.
we went from 1,000 to
Who's charging us that?
I don't know,
what I'm
that's what
saying.
we're trying to
So,
figure
I
out.
just don't know what the rationale was for going to zero.
Brian,
Brian,
Pitt,
Codes enforcement guy.
the assessor.
Assessment, yeah, he's sorry, the assessor. So what I think's happening, what Bill and I think's happening is, A, we didn't adjust the assessment to them
That's
for a
what I'm
long time.
thinking.
Right.
And they kept
Trying
adding
to remember
repeaters up
that,
there.
It seems
Yeah,
like we
what's that?
did that because it just, there was nothing happening there.
Pardon me?
Sorry, that for that, I don't think there was
Tower
anything there
inspection.
last year.
The additional tax revenue we could receive if we're under assessing them would far exceed $1,000.
But this is inspection, it's not assessment, right?
I
No,
just
this is
don't know what that is.
They're inspecting the cell tower or the towers on Sevier. But I believe they're way under assessed. So there's a
Have
relationship.
you
between
checked
the
with
inspector.
Brian on that?
Well, I've gone to him several times. I think he was supposedly like doubled the assessment last year. And I think they didn't blink an eye, which would
Right.
indicate to me that it's probably
I just
still under
wonder, I
assessed.
just wonder if we went from 1,000 to zero because we're not spending anything in that category and we're ditching $1,000 somewhere.
Yeah. But I don't know if somebody's doing it or not, but I believe it's something that's really important to the town, because I don't think we're properly.
Yeah,
Do we add that back in?
I
Yeah,
think we
that's my
should,
point.
I think we should, we just need to figure, I wrote down, the tower checks, who's doing them? And are we keeping track of it? Like, honestly, I think somebody should take a digital picture once a month of the tower and say, okay, what's there?
I'll go back.
And
into
does
the-
They do not have to go before any of the committees if they just want to add candelabras. They only have to get approvals if they want to put up new towers. However, the value of the tower increases if they keep putting new candelabras.
Yeah, they just keep changing what's on the,
Correct.
they haven't added another, they just keep changing what's up there.
I don't know whether it's hard for Brian to get out there and do it and maybe, but. If
I
it's
mean-
$1,000 budgeted for a formal inspector, I think it'd probably be money well spent.
I have a note here to go back and look and see what we did with that in past years.
Who's doing it? Brian adjusted it.
Yeah. Environmental contractual, that's sheet 24 that you have, that is from Phil. I threw $500 in there for Earth Day signs. I gotta look at that because I don't know if that is included in that celebrations line or not.
Right.
So I might just take that $500 out of there and put it into that celebrations line. It doesn't really make a difference where it goes.
Well,
Then
we had 2,500 in there last year and he's only asking,
That means we increased by
21.
$100.
Mhm.
and that's with the signs, right?
No, that's not. So that handwriting there, that's me. I put that there. 'cause,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Alright.
that the 1,500 is, his numbers here are incorrect.
Okay,
Based on what was done last year. So I fixed those. And it's partially my fault because I didn't update those.
So they're not asking for increases,
No, there.
chair members.
Oh, no members there. $50 a
500
person.
last year, 1,600.
We're looking at page 24.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't, this is my fault. I didn't update that, 8 at 150, it was actually 8 at 200 for 2024. I didn't update that when I.
Oh,
did the
I see what you're
sheet, so
saying.
No,
that's-
there's no
that's my fault.
increase, I mean.
Yeah, so there's no increase. He's at $2,100 for.
Yeah, other than the sign questions, good.
Yeah, which the, now what was that, what was the signs, what's he trying?
right here on the next page.
Yeah.
We wrote it out in the email.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we all,
Okay.
it should be in the celebration.
So right now I have him, his line at there in the budget for 2,600, that includes that $500 for the signs.
Yeah,
I think,
they stated on here that they think the highway department absorbed the cost of the last ones. They want more.
SOTs we talked about. The engineering there under refuse and garbage, that's page 26. This is from ER, 16 grand. I think that's engineering related to the landfills. We're at $4,200 for this year. He thought that seemed low and he's gonna reach out to them and see what's going on, but he thought 16 grand was a good number.
So. And he wants to go from. Oh, okay, 2,800, not 24. I thought it was 1,000.
Yeah, mowing, he went up $300 and you'll see across the drainage districts too, he went up higher. And his thinking is to fund the purchase of a new mower for the drainage districts and for this, so that's gonna be different than that long arm tractor they buys. There's a couple other items you don't have sheets for, clearing of vacant lots, we've always had $300 in there. We haven't had any expense this year. I think it's just kind of a just in case thing that we have $300 in there.
Mhm.
That might buy you coffee for the year.
Yeah. Cemetery BR gave me, 250 or it's nothing.
Is that just paper gas or something?
Honestly,
Oh, really?
I think so. I think, well, the way it should be done is, we should be taking some of the payroll costs out of highway. And
Right.
putting it here to, if he ever goes over the mow, but.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think that ever gets done.
So
Cost
cost management accounting is not in place here.
these little things, it's just, they're just there. There it is. Couple things you don't have a sheet for, contractual for the spring, we pay that lady $2,500 to use her
Property.
spring.
What?
On the Orville Road.
Yeah,
Ever go to the spring? over
We
there?
don't own the spring, but we
yeah.
maintain it because the public uses it,
Yeah,
so.
where is
Hey,
this?
I know, I know.
Right on Gulf
We're
Road.
gonna go.
If you go
right
down
up
the
there
next.
and go down that.
Oh, wait,
creeks.
that's a
Really-
public
really good
water
spring water.
fire hose thing?
Yeah,
You just drink right out of it?
yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a big sign.
Off that spring for 2 years, I had a bad well. We
You get
hauled out.
dysentery or anything?
No.
The water.
I-
yeah, I mean, there's
Water-
a sign there warning you against
Yeah.
it, but,
Risk?
but it actually is very good.
It's very
water.
good.
Yeah.
I
We used
I
to
drink out
go,
of
we
it.
used to get our drinking water from there when
Yeah.
cause our well had so much sulfur and stuff, but now we've got
Yeah.
new wells.
So wait, I didn't know we pay her?
Yeah, $2,500.
That's
Really?
really.
Cause it's up on,
How much is it? Anybody know?
I can tell you the number.
That's pretty, listen, I didn't know where that water was coming from.
yeah, cause it
Had no
comes
idea.
back up in there and that Jones that.
Yeah. Wow. And so I think it's cool, but what does everybody use the water for?
All the farmers will go up, they'll haul, they get the big water tanks in the
Yeah,
back of their trucks. I used it for my house for 2 years because we had a bad well. So that was where I got all my drinking water and stuff like that. So people use it constantly up
Yeah,
there.
if you, especially in the summer, if you don't have a good well, people will go get it,
Wells
and
are
a lot of,
dry.
it used to be more so, but there's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, yeah, I know cells, I mean, there's different farmers that you take it, you go get a big tank, you fill it up and then throw it into your water trough, it saves you half.
I know when I was a kid, people, camps on DeRider Lake. Didn't have wells and you wouldn't use the lake water, so you just go back there and
Yeah.
grab your well.
Oh, yeah.
Big jug of water.
Cool.
Yeah. It's I don't know, that's one of those cool things in our town that I don't think most people know.
I don't know.
I really
had no
don't.
idea.
Yeah.
I'll take it down, I'll show you.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that whole road is pretty.
That's a
cool.
ton of water coming out of there too.
1,600.
1,600, I believe, and I have to go back and check, but my recollection is that is engineering services, I think groundwater monitoring for up here. Because of the salt shed, don't we have to get an engineer or somebody to come in and make sure the groundwater is not getting tainted with the salt?
No idea.
Okay,
That's my recollection from last year's discussion, so I left it in at $1,600.
okay.
Employee retirement, they gave, the state was kind enough to provide a preliminary estimate as to what our renewal is gonna be, or our fee for this coming year. The total between both funds is 68,453. It's roughly a 50-50 split between the general and highway fund. So I got 33,500 in the general fund, and we had 37,000 budget for, so it's relatively close. They jumped it. I don't know if you guys remember this, but last year they gave us a fairly low renewal or, estimate of fee, and then in November when they gave us the actual, it jumped.
Yeah, we went from 24.5 up to 37.
Yeah, so who knows what's gonna happen with that, but. Workers' compensation insurance, I don't have a sheet for you on that one. I estimated 10% increase. We did 30 grand budget this year and went up 10%, so up to 33. And then health insurance, I gotta do some work on that as well. I gotta reach out to OSEBA and get some figures on that. If you guys will see that, maybe some Excelis, I think, is in there. But I mean, that's probably gonna be a 10-15% increase.
We had that tragically retiree passed away. Are you the one that takes someone off through their website?
Teresa, is that the Teamsters? If that's the Teamsters insurance, then that's Teresa. OSEBA is GAP. So that's like from the time that they retire to the time that they're Medicare eligible. Well, the OSEBA insurance cover.
This guy, so this guy, see if retired.
How old is he?
Well, he's 70 something. So
Oh, so he's on Medicare.
Oh.
Yes.
So that would be a Teresa thing. Okay, you asked.
So that's the general fund. If it were to stay as is, we're looking at a 7% increase in property taxes. The bulk of that, I mean, we're looking at the $42,000 increase in the levy. I mean, there's one item in particular, I think that kind of jumps out that's causing that increase. So
7% is a big number, man.
our tax levy for the general fund isn't very large.
Right.
We raised $594,000 last year from property taxes. So we're just for the general fund. Highway, that's double. It's over $1 million. That's kind of where we're at now. You want to run through highway real quick?
We're not doing the fires up. We doing fires?
I just said that we will. Yeah, I just said
Okay.
they're kind of later on in the
Got
show.
it. Okay.
You don't have sheets for this stuff. I'm gonna run through the revenue real quick. Highway services for other governments, that's the county contract that we have. It's a 3% increase according to the contract. We did 166 this year. It's gonna go up to 171. Fuel reimbursements, a couple of fire departments pay to use our fuel. We budgeted $3 grand for this year. We're at about $1,100, so I dropped it to $2,000. Interest income, I have the same as last year. We have to revisit that. So probably drop 20 right now, but I'll do an actual math and figure out where we're going to be. Sale of equipment, VR told me to put in 30 grand. He's planning on selling a 2011 International 6-wheeler and a 1999 F550. That's worth. Chips, he said, put in 374 grand. That doesn't have a huge impact on the budget. It's whatever we get, we spend for road improvements. That ARPA we talked about, $1,000. Tractor and longer. One other thing that he wanted me to talk to you guys about, is taking some of his fund balance, which is about. I gotta do some work on this as well, not quite there yet. But he's gonna have probably $600,000 of fund balance, using some of that in the budget and then transferring it to a reserve account. With the goal of, doing this every single year to build up reserve to buy new equipment.
We talked about that at the meeting, doing
Yeah.
a rotation,
Yeah,
because ARPA's running out,
Yeah,
so he
I think
needs to come
it's-
up with a rotation.
I think it's a great idea.
the days of getting 15 years out of a truck are probably over, especially with computerization, everything and the higher repair costs. So it's probably a good idea to start chipping away, building up a reserve account to start paying for this stuff.
Would it, Jim, do you think it's out of line to, when we look at the budget, we'll see what we have, but take whatever fund balance he has and put it all in, or do we need it as part of the general fund?
Hold some
It-
back.
No,
You gotta leave some, because if you have a legally established, we have to set up, like, we've passed a resolution that we're gonna set up a reserve for him. We don't already. Once it's in a reserve, you have to, make a motion to basically eliminate that reserve if you want to dip into it for another purpose. So I don't think you want to use all of your fund balance for the reserve, just because it eliminates any flexibility that you have.
Okay.
But
So that reserve that we create for the trucks, as an example, you can only use it for trucks, nothing else.
yes.
And
That's
when
what-
you dip into it at all, it's all gone?
no, you could say, if, say, like, next year we wanted to buy a $300,000 truck, and we'd say we're gonna budget $200,000 for this, we fund it by property tax. We'll use $100,000 of our reserve. You can do it that way.
I see.
The real point of him doing it is to get something in there that is earmarked more for go back, because like the whatever fund it is, could be swiped and
Yeah, and
changed, where if it gets into a reserve, it earmarks it for highway for sure.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's the point of it, is he wants to make sure there's something going in guarantee, so the equipment just, like, it's good now, but it doesn't want to get where, we're gonna go 5-10 years and we haven't made any plans, and then we're back to the point where we got millions of dollars worth of equipment that we can't do.
A lot of municipalities too are, they're financing the equipment, so they'll put a decent chunk down and they'll spread the rest out over time. That helps, eliminate any budget hits. So we have a lot of flexibility. I mean, if the fund balance, they're not high, but we're also not in a bad spot either. So we have a lot of flexibility in that we don't have debt. Our tax levy is relatively low, I think, and we have decent amount of new equipment down there. So
yeah, no, I think this ARPA money really set the town up for long-term success, at least for the next
Well, I
10
think we
years.
used it very wisely.
For sure.
For that equipment wise,
Yeah.
I mean, we could have blown it on other stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
So that's the revenue piece of things. In terms of personnel costs, I won't get into it. I know that they're working on a contract. I have a number plugged in there, but I'm just not gonna say what that is yet. We'll talk about that another time. His contractual expenses, he kept the same for general repairs, $285,000.
No, I just asked Bill if he was involved in the negotiations at
Well,
all,
so-
and he said no.
Well, eventually we have to be, because we have to approve whatever it is that they wanna do.
Right.
So at some
Um,
point, it's gotta come to us.
Mhm.
Capital improvements, which is road paving, $374,000, which is equal to CHIPS. We talked about the tractor, machinery contractual is exactly the same as $95,000. We're at 62,000 for the year so far, so we're in good shape there. Snow removal personnel, again, that's, to be determined what that raise is going to be. The contractual costs, so fuel, repairs, maintenance, that kind of thing, is exactly the same as 63 grand. And then there's another line item for snow removal for county roads. They're exactly the same spot, so that's that. Put some of the employee retirement system here. The payroll taxes, I forgot to mention this for the general fund, that's just a formula. I calculate that based on what the salary is gonna be. Then health insurance, I have to work on with them based on, I can find out what the OC, the increase is gonna be. I have the Teamsters contract, I think it calls, there is health insurance rates already set for 2025, and I have that, so I gotta just bake that in, so that's gonna change. So obviously highway is gonna change depending on the outcome of the contract, but currently we are at, we have to raise $1,066,000 for taxes, which, oh, I'm sorry, $1,135,868 we have to raise, which is a 6.5% increase. Last year. And keep in mind that these figures already have baked in a percentage increase for the personnel. It's just a guesstimate
Yeah,
based on what BR told me.
okay.
So that is what it is. Subject to change. Bringing out of power, so I'll move quickly through this here. 7%.
We got someplace you can plug in?
Yeah, somewhere, but I think I can get through this
Okay.
quickly. You don't have sheets on this, but the lighting districts, Pompey Lighting District, Delphi Falls Lighting District. Like I said before, I'm going to take a closer look at this in like later October. But we budgeted $3,300 for Pompey and I bumped it up $300 for now. It's not going to really make a difference. Delphi Falls budget 24 was $2,800. Bumped up $200. So we're at $3,000. So
Yeah, 3,000.
in your budget,
Yeah,
maybe I screwed up when I was putting this together. Any event, I'll revisit this as we move forward and we'll I think that. Fire and ambulance, I gave you guys a copy of the Manlius contract. Or their budget, I should say. Not a big increase, thankfully, 820,000. I'm reading this right?
Yep.
sounds
Versus,
big to me.
well, versus 811, and the year before was 722, so. I think I was expecting a larger increase, so I think we came out okay there.
I gotta tell you, it's a lot of money.
It is a ton of money. I mean, you look at their budget, the details there, they haven't spent money. for sure.
Yeah, the only consolation is that Chuck in the village can countermand this people the same rate. Based on assessed value.
Delphi Falls Fire, they put in a request that is
I gotta put a line.
exactly the same as last year, $194,000, so that works out well.
I did have a question. They have a question about that because the town pays the workers' comp, which we budget 14.
Yep.
Last year it was only 12 something, and
Okay.
they asked me, well, where's the other $2,000 go? Like, I didn't have the answer.
Do we pay them for the workers' comp or we pay the workers'
The
comp?
town pays it.
So what ends up happening is that sits in their fund, right? And they'll have a fund balance, just like any other fund has a fund balance, and we can use that to help reduce property taxes.
So are we paying them $2,000 too much? Is that what you think?
We pay the bill.
We budget for the fire
Budget.
department 14,000 out
Right.
of our 194.
Yep.
But the comp only costed 12.
Yeah, so we cut them a check for $180,000.
Yep.
And then we cut a check to the workers' comp people for whatever they go around to be doing. So if it ends up coming out $14,000, and they're checking their savings account just goes up a little bit more, and we can use that to reduce the tax burden. Delphi Falls ambulance, don't have a sheet on this. I haven't received anything from them. I think that comes in October. When they do the budget. Tentatively, I have it in at 23. That's just a guess. But I'm just gonna move it. Pompey Hill Fire. Did I get anything from them? I don't think I've got anything from them yet. No, I haven't. So that's incomplete. The water districts, again, I have to revisit this when, we move along through this process, but everything is relatively consistent with 24. I might have gone up a nominal amount, some of these, $600 here, $700 there. Again, you don't have sheets on any of this stuff.
Right.
The only big item that's in here is North Pompey Water Storage. We have the anticipation notes that we pay. And that's per schedule. That's set by, the bank when we got the ban. So that went down actually from 49,380 this year to 48,243. So that'll go down.
Which longer is that on?
Paying the whole thing with a ban? Isn't that a short-term borrowing instrument?
Yeah, but it works out pretty well. The interest rate tends to be lower than a
bond?
than a bond, yeah.
But
Any
really?
idea roughly or? Years, number five. but-
It's. It is gonna be done in 2036.
Perfect.
Oh, this is a bond. I'm sorry. This is not a ban, bond.
All right.
2036.
2036, because. It's really. Let's see, 12 years from now, where will we all be?
Good question.
Drainage, I went through this quick with DR. The bulk of these are gonna be exactly the same. One or two of them went up. Yeah, Hartsfield went up to $500, which is $250. He thinks there's gonna be some maintenance doing some catch basins there.
It's funny, it went preserve from 20 down to 10, but yet the bottom line is higher. I'm trying to see where the
Yeah, I noticed
difference
that.
is.
Yeah.
What did you mean to put 20 in?
Was it supposed to be 20?
Yeah, this is right.
Well, I can tell you, this is what I typed in.
Yep,
Pompey Pines, I had 4 grand, which is the same as last year.
Yep.
Preserve is 10 versus 20. Spruce Ridge is 1,000.
Yep.
That's the same. Spruce Ridge South is 2,500. Hartsfield is 500.
If you had those numbers, if you only get to like 20,000.
Get 20,000.
we went from 20,000 down to 10, but the
He probably-
bottom line
He
is.
probably
higher.
just did his math.
I think there's a math error there.
Yep,
To the tune of about 10 Gs.
yep, which is
I would
good.
have had a new calculator in the budget.
Yeah.
That's BR's math. That's not mine. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Salaries we have to talk about, and then some of this other stuff. But got a little bit of work to do, but overall, I think we're in fairly good shape. Good.
Salaries.
Sounds good.
All right, so. I was gonna call it Ben just from action, a vendor for my own email reset and then the 3K and the 5K to get estimates from that. And then I was gonna call John Shaheen on the LED, that light, the 9,000. I mean, there's gotta be more in that.
Yeah, there
It
is.
can't be
It's not
9,000
just-
for
No,
this.
there's more to it.
I'll just ask him. And
Um,
then the tower checks, who's gonna do that?
I'll look back and see who paid and what it was for. I have to maybe do some work on that, because it's probably in the vault,
What, the tower?
the tower, yeah.
And then-
We gotta get in touch with Don Dunkel too and see where that's gonna be.
I
We
gotta,
can do that.
I already reached out. to
Oh,
him,
good,
so
okay, great.
And then the only other thing, if, we're looking at 7.
We could also ask, Ron, sorry to interrupt about the tower. Thank you for the
Yeah.
assessment.
That 7.1 and 6.5, I'm wondering if we should go back and look at the tower assessment again.
I'm gonna ask Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, we need to like business negotiation with it. Seems like you're right.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
The problem is knowing who owns the goddamn thing, but I think Brian said we just,
Show
it
up.
doesn't matter, there's a bill that goes out, we just triple the assessment, so I don't come back and agree, but.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's probably
Could
Jack
be a-
chair off the Queen Anne for these companies.
Right.
I think it could be a,
We might as well take advantage of it.
How soon do we have to figure for that tax cap override?
That should be next meeting, we should.
Yeah,
Right, then we have to schedule a public hearing. for
Right.
that too.
It makes sense, just
We always do it, we always.
just based on a
Um,
what if.
But we're probably gonna be over the cap. I can't see, we're not going to reduce taxes by, a big chunk by using fund balance. It's just not gonna happen unless you want to bring it down to 0, which is suicide, right?
Yeah.
Like the fund balances are in a okay spot, but you're not gonna be funding.
I don't wanna get too comfortable.
I've been reading that down.
Yeah, and I think
Every
last
year,
year's budget, we didn't use fund balance for this exact point. We wanted to, we didn't want to be reliant upon it because if every year, you're using a couple $100,000 of fund balance, then you're out.
Yep.
The property tax increase that you're faced with is gonna be astronomical, so,
And we have the crutch of ARPA, so.
yeah.
that's-
Right. Right, which is,
At least we've used that for like special one-off stuff, and one of the rules with ARPA is you can't use it to fund your budget, right? You can't use it for salaries, wages, that kind of crap.
I mean, but there'll be time at the next regular meeting to schedule the public hearing
Done.
or at the meeting afterwards, or are we going to make a special one in between? That's what I'm trying to make,
The idea of the book. I always have to check the manual.
Oh, yeah, I do.